Hello beautiful people, my name is Phoenix and I welcome you to the next instalment of Interrailing as an Introvert. As always, if you're interested in the context of this trip, in terms of where I'm going, how long I'm staying, and I recommend you go check out the first part of this series, which has my entire route, including all the time scales, the accommodation costs, and how I travelled. Today's vlog carries on from last week's Rotterdam vlog where I stayed for one night and explored Rotterdam for 2 days. Today I hope to go through my overnight train from Rotterdam to Prague, my arrival day in Prague, and the accommodation and what I thought of it as I stayed there for 3 nights. If you're interested in those TikToks, I'm maybe posting them soon on my TikTok, Loki's Life, so if you're interested, go check them out. But let's get into the overnight train from Rotterdam to Prague. I left an hour before the train arrives. It takes 2 minutes to walk to the station, I can see it. It was just getting a bit overcrowded in the lobby and I felt like I was taking up a lot of space. So I'm just going to find somewhere to sit in the station for an hour. Yeah, good luck with that. I didn't know my platform number because I arrived so early. There were general platforms from the man in seat 61. He was like, it's generally from this platform, the sleeper train, but it wasn't guaranteed. So I sat on the floor in Rotterdam Central, just watching the board and hugging my bags. Got a few strange looks, but there were no seats in like the main area before the ticket barrier. I went up to the waiting room and it was shut at that time. I don't know whether I would have been able to go in it anyway, it might have just been for first class. I ended up sitting on the floor until I found out what platform my train was on. It has also apparently just decided to start raining. Not very much. Just as well I'm leaving, isn't it? To prepare for the overnight train, my whole trip, a load of my information for trains came from the man in seat 51. Brilliant blog, website, videos, amazing. I love him, he is my saviour. Go check it out if you're planning any Interrail trip. So much information, absolutely brilliant. Waiting at the hostel, I changed my top into my pyjama top, kept my shorts on because my pyjama shorts don't have any pockets, and the shorts I were wearing had like loads of pockets I could tie up, and I also had my discreet bum bag, it was my skin colour, and it had my important documents like my passport and my wallet in it. I ended up brushing my teeth on the train. Well, there was a sink room and there was a toilet room, but not the nicest, I will say. Glad I got mostly ready, not on the train. Absolutely nonsensical number. That's where there weren't any 120 coaches. This was the most stressful train experience, just in terms of confusion over seatings. My coach was moved in an email, which I saw, so that's fine. So I wrote down the extra one. The train arrived and I was like, there are not 20 carriages here. So maybe I'll go find coach 7 and find my new place. So I got in near the back, which would have been great if it was coach 20 anyway, which it is. Because it was either coach 20 or coach 7. Carriage 7, they used different words. Why did they use different words? So I got on like the back and that said coach 6. I was like, okay, I'll move to coach 7. I moved backwards one, coach 4 or something. What? It's like I got to coach 7, seat 31, which was my original seat. Then there were people there and they were like, no, they just spoke Dutch to me and they were like, no, absolutely not. So then I had to walk down like the entirety of the train because the numbers are in a random order to find coach 20, which is next to coach 3. Apparently. I got to coach 20 and the numbers on the doors do not match up with the numbers on the seats, so there are people in the ones with 31, which is where I am, so I'm sitting in 41. I don't know whether I'm supposed to sit in the one behind or the one in front. I don't know which one's numbered wrong. So yeah, so a lot of things happened there. I sent my parents a lot of panicked messages. So along with the confusion over seating, after I arrived in what was found out to be my right seat, I realised that it was a 5-berth couchette and I had booked a 6-berth couchette, which made me even more panicked. I had just realised that in the email it says it doesn't update on your online ticket, so the email was the nearest update. Confusion over seat numbering. It was all very... I did ask for help once, and then I was too embarrassed to ask for help again. Did end up being registered, so it was confirmed I was sitting in the right place. Had the carriage free to myself since 6, and I arrived in Prague just before 11. So 2 people from my 5 shared Q-share berth didn't show up. They were supposed to show up at 20 to 12. I'm not complaining. But yeah, if you can tell, I'm slightly tired. I did get an extra 2 hours once the others had left. From 6:30 to 8:30. So that was cool. So this Dutch father and son joined me. They shared my couchette. There were supposed to be 2 other people arriving at around 20 to midnight, but they never turned up. So I think we were waiting to set out the beds until that time. The other 2 started making the beds around 12. I was on all the lower bunks and then woke up to a very loud beeping noise. Still don't know what that was. Maybe it was an alarm for people getting off at Berlin, because the other 2 were getting off at Berlin and I was about 6 in the morning. Did get a bit chilly in the night, so I had to rummage around for my hoodie. Obviously in the middle of the night it gets cold. I told myself I wouldn't do much walking today because I don't want to exhaust myself, but there are so many cool places. I haven't even got to the hostel yet. So the hostel I stayed in was check-in, more details on the prices in my first intro video, and I just walked straight to the hostel, which was about a 20-minute walk. That was in Prague 10. Prague is very big, hence Prague 10. There was still plenty to see around that area. It's about a 40-minute walk from the old town, or a 15-minute tram ride. I went to drop off my big bag in a locker room. You get fob key card, and that gives you access to the bag room. In the bag room there are also electronic lockers which you can pay for. It's like an in-post locker. It was quite full and crammed with just bags on the floor, so I just put mine in a corner. I could have probably checked in earlier because I arrived at around 12 and they only guaranteed that there would definitely be beds free by 3 o'clock, so I didn't ask. I think some people did check in earlier, but I just went and had a walk around. I also stopped in their cafe briefly and got us a coffee. It's 60 krona, which was about £2, so it's pretty cheap considering coffee prices these days, honestly. So that's something I noticed immediately as I was walking around town, is how flat the Netherlands is compared to Prague. There were loads of parks nearby with such spectacular views of the city. It was definitely worth whatever hill I had to climb, and I climbed quite a few. Quick word on cash and card. There's quite a mix in Prague of whether they only take cash, take a mix of cash and card, or only take card. I was looking for an ice cream place because I really fancied an ice cream. I went into one and I realised how little Czech I knew and then they said they only took cash, so I got embarrassed and left. I then found another one and got a hazelnut ice cream from there. There are lots of ATMs around, and what the minimum extraction you can get depends on where you're getting it from. So the first ATM I went to was by this posh hotel, and the minimum you could get out was 1,000 krona, which is about £33, and I don't want to do that. So I got to the hostel and they had one in the lobby. Minimum to take out was 200 krona, which is about £6, but they always had run out of 200 krona notes, so I had to get out 500 krona the first time. There are more ATMs down the road just as you're going into the old town, which also have a minimum of 200, so that was okay. When I checked into the hostel, I knew the towels were not included, so you have to pay a 100 krona deposit in cash, which they give back to you at the end, plus a 30 krona, about £1 for the washing fee. Also, if you have ordered breakfast like I had for one day, they give you that number of breakfast cards, which you give to the people down in the bar area. You also get a free drink from the bar, but I don't drink alcohol. I did ask them on, I think, my second or third day, I asked if I could get a free drink from the cafe instead. He said they don't usually do that because it's the bar doing it, and nobody asks them because they come to Prague to drink beer. But he said he would be happy to give me a free coffee instead. I then made my way down to the 34-bed basement, brushed my teeth and took a shower because that was needed after that night train. I went to go find a supermarket. It was a bit of a trek, find like a proper supermarket with fresh fruit and stuff rather than just a corner shop. There were lots of 24-hour kind of corner shops very nearby to the hostel, drinks and snacks and stuff. But I found a supermarket and I just bought a massive apple and a drink from there. Prices are much cheaper in Prague than they are in London, I can tell you that. I then went to several parks and kind of read there. One thing I will say about Prague is that it is very good for vegan and vegetarian food. Did a bit of research before I went just to see where I could get dinner from, because I like to have that planned in advance. There were so many vegan places, options, everywhere had a vegan option. So on this night I went to this all-vegan burger place called Bezel Pub. Like the devil. It wasn't very busy, but I still got a vegan chili burger to take away. That was the cost for that, and I think it was about a 30p charge for the takeaway bag as well. Time to do a review of the hostel! Woohoo! I feel like I say hostel weirdly. Do I say it weirdly? Start with the facilities. I have notes. I'm prepared. Every night there is an event in the bar. They had the list of what happens each day on a blackboard. So like they have a jazz night, they have a comedy night, they have all sorts of stuff. I can't remember the other ones. It has a nice framed stage. I never went there in the evening because there were quite a few people there each evening and it was a bit scary. They also have the breakfast in that same room and it's a really nice place. There are very well equipped kitchen facilities. It's like average size for a hostel. It's just across the corridor from the bar, so downstairs from the lobby. The people in the hostel, while staying in the hostel, were very social and I'm not. On this evening specifically, I went downstairs to get some cutlery and everyone was in there cooking together, so it was quite crowded and I got a bit overwhelmed. So I had to just quickly run in and out to grab cutlery, and that's completely me, hence this being called interrailing as an introvert, because I really did not want to. But I grabbed the cutlery and went upstairs where it was a bit quieter. There's this big table in the lobby where lots of people were doing work and reading, so that's where I drank my hot chocolate, you can see that. And it had a book exchange as well as leaflets where you can get discounts at certain pizza places and stuff like that. You can see the kitchen a bit where I'm making my hot chocolate. Again, everyone was very good at cleaning up after themselves. Very clean. It was good. Onto the bedrooms and bathrooms. The showers and toilets were also very clean, like actually very pleasant. You had a sink or two in each of the gendered areas, and then the outside where you could see me brushing my teeth had about 8 sinks on either side and a load of weird mirrors. And whenever I went in the shower there was nobody else in there, probably because I had a wildly different sleep schedule to everyone else and I wake up much earlier than everyone else. And I also showered at weird times, like it would be the afternoon after I'd gone out walking and was all sweaty. 34 people in a bedroom sounds daunting, I know. But you chose your own bed, you slot in your card to say that it's been taken. I slotted mine in to the far end of the bedroom, away from the door. For the first 2 nights, nobody took the bed above me. Last night, someone did, and I barely noticed they were there. So that was great. You have a big chest under your bed, which you pull out and put a padlock on, which can be a bit annoying when people put their shoes next to their bed or something, because sometimes they pull out in the same direction, but overall it wasn't a problem. You may be worried about the privacy in a 34 person room. Really, it actually makes it feel a bit more private because you're a little fish in a big room. No one's paying attention to the individuals, they're all worried about themselves. And because I had such a different sleep schedule, I was even less bothered. There was just one negative event that happened. A couple of American girls had a problem with bed bugs at the other far end of the room, nearer to the door, so about 30 meters from where I was. So they promptly left. I stripped my bed as soon as I came back that afternoon and I didn't find anything. But again, I was about 30 meters away from their beds, so I can't say I know if the staff did anything to rectify it. I have no idea. I wasn't invested in that. All I knew is that there were no bed bugs in mine or like the bunker bed above. And as far as I know, nobody else had problems. But to be honest, all the hostels in Europe are going to have the risk of bed bugs, especially at this point. But I didn't find any, and I haven't had an infestation carried from in my clothes since. So it was all fine. Everyone's gone out. Promise I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. Is this the third outfit and the third lighting showing that I did definitely not film this all in one? Yes, but I'm all for transparency here. Doing the outro. So I'm gonna leave it there for that video, otherwise it would have been too long if I'd put all of Prague in one, because a lot happened on that, I guess, train journey, and obviously reviewing the hostel on the first day. So that's where we're leaving it. I'm not sure whether I will be carrying on with the series like right now, because yesterday marked 1 month until I'm off to university. So I've got some things planned that will be about preparing for uni, depending on how long it takes me to edit things, because it does take quite a while and I'm a busy bee. Okay, you may get a mix of interrailing and preparing for uni, or just preparing for uni and some interrailing a bit later on. The day this video goes out, we've got my first friend going to uni. I know you're watching this, hello. Go and wish her good luck to uni, except it will just be Cara wishing herself good luck. Cara, say good luck to yourself, because you're the only person watching this. But until then, look after yourselves. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.